Hello, everyone. Good day to you. My name is Loizos Mikallos. I'm a senior engineer at Channel IT Limited. We are the distributors of ManageEngine software in Cyprus and Greece and Malta. And today, together with you, I'm going to have an overview of ManageEngine's solution, ITSM solution, Service Desk Plus. So without any delays, because as I understand, the time is limited, and Service Desk Plus is such a huge product with a lot of features, a lot of options, and we're just going to run through it and try to cover as much as features and explain stuff to you the better we can inside this time frame that we have. So before I start and going over the features and consoles, etc., I'd like to mention that Service Desk Plus comes in two basic flavors. The one is intended for internal IT and internal company users, which is the Service Desk Plus. It's for IT and enterprise service management. And Service Desk Plus MSP, which is intended for managed service providers, meaning that they are companies that provide services to other third-party companies. The main difference between the two actually is that Service Desk Plus MSP edition is concentrated, is built around the account handling logic, meaning I have multiple accounts of clients, and under those accounts, we have multiple users from the clients. So each client has its own requester database, it has its own, let's say, asset database, etc. And it's also built in a way that helps the managed service provider to keep track of the hours spent and the contracts between the managed service provider and the third-party companies. As you see, as well, we have the Asset Explorer, which is an IT asset management. Asset Explorer is also included inside Service Desk Plus and inside Service Desk Plus MSP. But it also comes as a standalone software, which handles only IT asset management and a CMDB configuration management database. Also, we have the Support Center Plus, which is basically the help desk part of Service Desk Plus MSP. Again, it's designed to work with either internal users and external users and companies. And it's built with the same logic as the MSP version, which is account-centric. But instead of having all the modules of Service Desk Plus, meaning problem management, change management, project management, etc., it only concentrates on the help desk ticketing part of an ITSM software. Today, together, we will cover Service Desk Plus. And before going even further to the presentation, I would just like to mention that Service Desk Plus have multiple deployment options, so we are agile in that department. We have either on-premise versions, we have cloud software as a service, and it can also be hosted in Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure. Today, for the presentation purposes, we are going to go with the on-premise version, so I can show you a lot of features and configurations on my consoles. So a basic question that comes is why do we need an ITSM software and why choose Service Desk Plus? So just to keep it simple, Service Desk Plus, it's off-the-shelf application, as we say. So basically, it comes pre-configured with some best practices inside. It comes with workflows built in and features that are available out of the box, meaning that if you run some normal workflows and not so complex, it's ready to be deployed and start working on it without coding, without scripting, without any of that unnecessary stuff. So, and also when you install the trial version, you're going to see a lot of examples and built-in processes that are already made for you to understand what everything is meant to be for. So I will show you after that what I mean by this. So also, why Service Desk Plus? Because although it's simple, although it comes with pre-configured stuff inside, you also have the availability to customize it. And the options, believe me, are endless. Together with the integrations with third-party programs that we can do, with scripting that we can manage, and with the workflows, the possibilities are really endless. So every time I start doing an upgrade to the latest version, I amaze myself with what they have added and how much more possibilities there are there to configure and work with service management. Another strong point of Service Desk Plus is the flexibility and the ease to configure it, and the friendliness of the interface, also to the users and also to the technicians that are behind the console, the support representatives. So it has a very low learning curve about how to work with the program, and we are going to see that in the process. And another strong point, as I said before, is that we're flexible on how to deploy it, depending on the infrastructure of the company. We can deploy either cloud or on-premise or hosted in Azure or AWS. So another very strong point, which I do not show here in my bullet points, is that it has a very large community behind it. So if you're having a problem or you're searching for a way to build something, a new script, a new workflow, there is a huge community behind Service Desk Plus, which can help you, give you ideas, and help you build what you're trying to do. And last but not least is the support that is provided by the vendor, by ManageEngine, which let me say that it really is superb. Now with the latest updates that they made, they have built in as well the chat tool that anytime we have any kind of problem, we can go online and chat with an expert, a product expert, and find the solution to the problems that we have. And also, the frequency of the patching and the new feature releases is astounding. It's amazing. Like, I have never seen any other vendor publishing so many patches and features in such a short time. So in Service Desk Plus, especially, we may have up to 4 patches per month. And also every couple of months, we have features released based on customer requests. And so the application is constantly evolving. And the past 4 years that I've worked with it, it has really grown to a very large scale of what it used to be. So what are the top ITSM capabilities that we can handle right now? One of the latest features that got added in Service Desk Plus is the Enterprise Service Management. Now, Enterprise Service Management is simply the ability to be able to run multiple instances of your service desk, of your ITSM, and catering to the different departments of a business. And let me show you exactly what I mean by seeing this screen here. The first time a user, when he logs in, he can choose where he wants to put the ticket to. So let's say if it's for the IT, he can choose the instance for the IT, or if it's human resources related, I have a separate instance for the human resources related requests. Also for facilities, housekeeping, traveling, or whatever other service, different instances of the same service we would like to have. Also, this enterprise service management capability, the ability to have instances, made it very easy for us, because we had many requests by businesses to run a production installation and have a test installation as well. So together with the enterprise service management, we can run on the same server, on the same database, but separately, 2 instances of the software. One is a skimmed down version for the testing with fewer technicians for testing. And when that is ready, we can just take the changes from the test environment and upload them to our working environment. So basically, this is what enterprise service management does. And each instance can run on a different version, meaning that I may have for my IT, I may have the enterprise edition with all the features, all the options for many technicians, etc. But for my human resources, I may just need 4 or 5 technicians with just the basic standard edition. So because this is flexible to the licensing scheme, it will be a lot cheaper than to have, let's say, the total number of my users to run on the enterprise edition. So by this way, I can split my license to logical units, to my instances, and run each instance by the license, the version that is needed for that instance. So it is much more economical and efficient to have enterprise service management multiple instances. So let's go back to our slides. Of course, we have incident and problem management. We will cover some workflows after the bullet points. We have the change management. We have IT asset management and the configuration management database. We have purchase and contract management. We have project management, where we can handle projects for the entire business. Service requests and request fulfillment, which is, again, it's requesting, but it has a big difference with the incident management part, and we're going to show that difference. Knowledge management, meaning you can build your own knowledge base and help the technicians and the users to find the answers and for themselves. And make knowledge management to help the technicians to solve incidents faster, and have ready-made solutions to provide to your users. Reporting and SLA management, of course, no ITSM can go without an SLA management and reports. Also, the new additions, the processes and the visual workflow design, which we are going to show, and a large number of integrations with other IT management applications. So without delaying this, let's go directly to the incident management part. So how I usually do my presentations, it's that I take an example, I take a workflow, and I show the various options, features, variations of that workflow inside the console itself. So we're not going to stick in presenting the slides. So let's say we have a basic incident management workflow. So you have a new incident, you have incidents inside your IT environment, which an incident or a ticket can come from multiple sources. The classic source, of course, is the email, which I'm going to explain some variations about the email and how we send email tickets to the console. We have the telephone, of course. We have SelfService Portal, the ITSM portal that I already explained, and we have the chat tool. So let me explain a little bit about how we manage to import the tickets inside the ticketing system. Let me choose my instance here. Right, so as you see here in the screen, we have a lot of tickets that come in inside the program, either from your email flow or from the self-service portal. Again, either from manual input from the technician side on the telephone. So a basic part of incoming tickets is first to try and categorize, prioritize, and assign those tickets to your different support groups. So you may have a support group for hardware, let's say. You may have a support group for software applications. You may have support group for databases, etc., etc. So it's basic. It's very important when incoming tickets arrive to your ticketing software to categorize them and prioritize them the right way, so they can go to the right place without losing any time or having a dispatcher to have a look at all the tickets. So some automatic ways we can achieve this is by assigning an alias name to those groups. Let's say I have my service desk email mailbox. So it's servicedesk@channelit.com. And I have three groups of technicians: hardware, software, and database. So I can give three aliases to my mailbox for software help desk, hardware help desk, and database help desk. So instead of the users sending, or the systems, it might be automatic systems, instead of sending to the central mailbox, which is just help desk, they send to the alias mailboxes, which I have given. And automatically, the system has the intelligence behind it to understand that this is intended for my support group, for the hardware, for the software, and etc. So let me just show you how that looks. Here you go. We have the various technicians and we have the support groups, where each support group can have its own alias mailbox. And by this group email, we can directly put the tickets inside their group, so we do not lose time by assigning tickets to the groups. Another effective way to do this is running some business rules. So we're just going to the automations now of the software, where we have business rules where by criteria, when we create a ticket, and we set some criteria, let's say the subject contains database problem, then you can have some actions. And those actions, one of those actions is assigned to a specific technician, place in groups, move to categories, move to subcategories, and run some scripts or whatever you want to do with this criteria. So we build automations so we can handle, categorize, and guide the tickets to the right way. So this is one important part. The other important part that we always emphasize to businesses that are trying to implement a new ITSM system, service desk, is that they need to build and make the users use the self-service portal. So how a self-service portal looks like to a user. Let me show you a quick screen. So this is the user interface when a user logs into the self-service portal. And this is highly customizable again. You can either change the themes or change the whole screen by giving it to your web designer and having a custom page made for you. And so by logging in, the user can see, request an issue, report an issue, or request a service. So let's say he wants to report an issue. It's very easy for him to just pick a category of what he wants to do and submit the ticket. Now, why is this important to have? Because by using the self-service portal, we can build and give the users templates, ready-made templates with only the need to know information inside those templates. So let's say if you, by now, you were handling all your requests by email, most emails do not cover the information that the IT technician need to know beforehand before handling a ticket. So the user sends an email, the technician has to send a reply back, and the user has to give some reply and exchange information back and forth. So there is a lot of wasted time there. So by building and giving users ready-made templates, we can guide them to the right direction and tell them what we need. So let me just show you how simple it is to create a template and publish it. So we have, let's say now, the incident templates. We have a new template for software, let's say software problem. Now, as you see here, we have various fields. So I can choose what fields I want to have inside this. So let's say mode does not interest me for this kind of ticket, neither level. I want the group, I want the technician, I want the service category to be by default the applications. All right. I do not want impact. I do not want the urgency. I want priority to start as low. I want the category, the subcategory, and the item to be filled in so I can already categorize my ticket before the ticket even arrives to the technician. So now this, as you see, is just a drag and drop. So it's very easy to put and remove fields. Now, let's say I need a custom field. How easy is that to be made? So I need a pick list for some options for the user to select. So let's say my pick list is the application and the values are, let's say, SQL and Exchange or whatever other option I would like to have here. I save it and my custom field is ready with the below options. So in every template, we have always two views. We have what the technician sees and what the user sees. So let's say I select that this template, I want to show it to my requesters, okay? And I save it. Of course, I can filter the requesters by groups and select user groups to provide them with this template and not the whole user database. So as you see now, I have the requester view with a lot less stuff here. Why are they a lot less? Because the users do not need to know the group, the category, if they're predefined inside the ticket. So let's say the category is always general. So I do not care. I do not want the user to see this. So I can select it here and hide it from the user. It's unneeded information for him. But I want the subcategory to be visible and I want it to be also mandatory. So the user has to select the subcategory. And also I want my application to be mandatory as well. So as you see, with a few simple steps, I just made a ready template to publish and ask this basic information from my users, mandate them, and get all the information I need before the ticket even arrives to the technician. Now, of course, behind every template, we have some workflows that we can design. One of the workflows that we can design here is to add tasks to the various tickets, okay, ready-made tasks for that. And also, in the newest versions, it was released about 5 to 6 months ago, I believe. We also have a new feature called tasks lists. Let me show you where it is. Checklists, not task lists. Yeah, my bad. So inside the template, we have here there we go, the checklists. So we can select, we can make a new checklist, and the checklist is just to give a checklist for the technicians to tick, to select, to answer, so we can guide them towards the resolution and check if everything is done before an incident is closed. So you can just, let's say, select the decision box, give it a name, and it can be clickable inside the ticket. So this is basically what I mean with the checklists. Now, another interesting and very good feature is the field and form rules. So basically, what can we do with field and form rules? Again, inside the templates, I'm covering a lot of automations here because we're going to find more after this. So I want to make my template to be interactive. So the way to do it is by using field and form rules. So we have four sets of different field and form rules, which we can do. The first set is when a form loads. So let's say, again, I want to hide some options, some fields from the user when a new template is open for a ticket to be submitted. So let's say I name this hide unnecessary fields, and upon creation or editing or create or edit, okay, so I select that. I say by the condition if the approval status is not yet approved, pending approval. Let's say I want to hide some options, hide fields like the group, the category, and description. So this is a basic field and form rule. When the template loads, it will get these rules, and if the conditions apply, it's going to either hide. Let me show you what options we have. We can enable or disable fields, show fields, hide fields, mandate, non-mandate, add options, remove options from various selectable options, set fields, clear fields, set tasks, unset tasks, and execute scripts. So already by this, we have a very large amount of configurability and ways to build stuff, templates, to be interactive with the user. Also, second way we can do this is with field change. So based on a selection of the user, we can again show more stuff or hide unnecessary stuff. So let's say that I have a site in USA and the user is based in another country, so we can select that, the site, and hide whatever other options are unnecessary for the user if he selects that he's a USA user. Also on the form submit, again, we have the same kind of rules, and these rules apply when the ticket will be submitted, when the form will be submitted. Also, a new development, a new feature that ManageEngine released is that we have field and form rules for incident requests. We have field and form rules for service requests, and we have also field and form rules on a global level. So on a global, I mean the console. So we can add field and form rules that we bind all our templates, and it will run through all the templates and not just specific templates that I bind inside this field and form rules. Now, we are talking about incidents and service requests. So there is a big difference between the two. What is the big difference? An incident is something that is unpredictable. It's happening, is an issue, is a problem, and we need to find a solution for it. A service request, on the other hand, is something that we provide as a service. The IT or whatever other department is providing this as a service. A new user onboarding, a new hire, a new application to be deployed. These are all services. So what is the difference? The difference is that one is unpredictable, and the service, we know it's predictable because we have planned it beforehand. So basically, we can have some additional features in the service templates that help us build and design those templates according to the needs of the business. So let's see a difference between an incident template and a service request template now. So to do that, I have to go into my service catalog. And just pick a service request like this, request a software installation. So this is a service. Now, as you see, it's pretty much the same templates, nothing much changes, but there are some differences. So one of the differences is that in the service request, the service template, we can have multiple stages for approval. We can have up to 5 stages for approval inside the service template. Also, we can associate multiple SLAs inside the service request. Again, we have the checklists, as I mentioned before, and the tasks, the task associations. Another big difference is the resources. Inside the service request, we can add resources. It's like ready-made questions, okay? And those resources can either be questions to get some answers, or they can be part of our asset management. Let's say we have a new onboarding user. That user has to get a PC, he has to get he has to get an account, Active Directory, various application accounts like CRM, etc., etc. So all these questions can be ready-made here, like this. Choose additional hardware. Let's say this here. Okay, I have added these questions here inside this template. And now, inside the service template, the user has to, or the technician has to select the resource details so it can help my IT to provide what the user needs. So this is the second large difference that we have between incidents and service requests. Now, the other difference that I would like to talk about before we go forward with problems, changes, projects, etc., because we do not have so much time to talk in depth about everything. As I see here, I already spent around 40 minutes just speaking about the ticketing, so I have to fast forward this. We have the SLAs, that we can handle different SLAs for the incidents. We have different SLAs for service requests, and we have different SLAs for the change management. Now, since I'm talking about change management, let's take a fast scenario where I have a ticket, and that ticket needs to be promoted, to be changed, to become a change. So let's show you a basic scenario that I create here. Okay, I have a new request. So this request is, let's say, an issue with the database. So this database needs to be upgraded or needs to be changed. So basically, this issue that I have to be fixed, it has to pass through a change. A new change has to be created to solve this issue. So if it's approved to be handled as a change, Then we create the new change and we start with the various change stages that we have: the submission, analysis, implementation, review, and soon we will have the UAT, the closure, and also a very new feature that is coming very soon. We will have a release management process as well to complement the change management. So let me fast forward this and show you how these stages look. Let's say we have, again, as I said, we have the submission stage where all the details about the change gets inputted, like the dates, created time, when it's going to start, when it's going to end, who will be the involved people inside the change, like the change manager, the change implementers, the change requester, the change owner, etc., etc. So it has its own custom roles for the change management. And by passing the various stages from submission to planning to the approval, we get to the implementation part where we can either get the tasks inside here or just begin a whole new project from inside the change management. So we can combine basically the requests from the request part inside changes and as well projects. So we can combine all this stuff to create a more wholesome, more meaningful ITSM software. Now, since I talked about projects, I'm just going to quickly pass over the projects, where we basically have a three-layer kind of project, which we have the project. We can divide inside that project milestones. We have the milestones, and under the milestones we have the tasks. So again, here we can have another whole role management for the members of the projects, and all the people inside our organization can be a member of a project. Okay, so here we have the different roles that we can put in a project, which is project administrator, which has access to all the projects. It's a project manager which has access to particular projects that he created. The team members, which they have access basically to the tasks that are assigned to them, and the team leaders that handle the milestones. So let's go fast forward on this and show you a new feature that is implemented in the project management, is the resource management. So basically what's going on here now, I have the milestones, I have my tasks, and I have the people involved inside the project. Now we have the resource management with just a simple drag and drop. I can get the tasks and drag them and put them where I want them to be, and they will be automatically assigned to either the new person, change date, etc., without having to go inside the tasks and changing manually the dates or the people that will handle those tasks. So this is the new feature that is provided here. And let's go very fast to the asset management part, and I will show you how basically we can handle the asset and the configuration management database. Okay, so inside an organization, we have assets. We can add the assets inside the console by multiple ways. Basically, it's either by importing Excel's spreadsheets or by scanning the network. So by scanning the network, we give the console with the required credentials to either scan WMI for Windows, SNMP for devices, etc. So we get the result here from the scanning of our network, where we get the assets. And let's say we have the assets here, and we can also again combine an asset inside. And my time's up, but I will just fast forward another 5 minutes. I'm sorry, I have a lot of things to say, but just bear with me for another 5 minutes. So basically, as I said, we combined requests with problem management, and from problem management, we go to the change management. From the change management, we can combine the whole project inside. And now we come to the part where we get the assets inside. So how can we combine assets inside the requests, the changes, the projects, is by adding them, associating them, basically. And when you associate an asset together with a ticket, an issue, okay, you get the whole history about the asset here. So basically, under each asset, I can get all the combined requests, the issues that I had, all the problems that I had, and all the change details that happen inside this asset. As very important as that, I have also can combine the contracts. So I have, let's say, a contract with the vendor for providing support for 5 years, or the warranty for 50 laptops that I bought. So I can create that inside my contracts and combine, let's say, a new contract for me, and combine a contract with an asset. So when I combine it here, it will be shown inside the asset that this asset has a contract with it. And I can also enable notification rules to send before that contract expires. So this is another feasibility that we have with contracts combining with assets. Now, CMDB, configuration item database. Basically, what's CMDB in this situation is that we combine assets with configuration items. Let's say a server is an asset, but a database, it's a configuration item, is not something, it's not an asset for a company, or let's say the instance of a database. So what can we do to get combined configuration items that are meaningful to the company to physical or other kinds of assets? So we build the configuration database, the configuration management database, to handle the relationships between those things. So let me show you a quick example of what I did for testing here. So I have the company, let's say I have some members of the company that some may be technicians, management, or whatever. Let's say I'm here, I'm in the technical stuff, the technical department, and I can from here follow and see that this is my computer, this is what I use as a computer, and I belong to the general team, and my computer has Windows Enterprise 10 or whatever other else relationship I want to build here to see. So it can start like this, and it can get very large and very complex. Now, this is going through the CMDB. I want to fast forward to the end. I cannot cover everything between the automations and the new way of scripting. We have many new features now that gives us availability to further customize. Before I go to the end, I would like just to show you how we visualize and how we help the IT service management workflow with the latest provided, the request lifecycle, which is a visualization of, let's say, how a request workflow can be achieved. So here we use this kind of workflows to guide the technicians, guide the ticket towards its resolution from start to finish. So we go by the various stages and transitions. What you see here are stages, and between them, before they achieve that stage, the status is the transition. So just to show you what we can do is we have three steps in a transition. We have the before, where we can choose who can see this transition, who can perform this transition, and by what kind of rules. And during, where we can mandate some fields, information, or run a script. And we have the after. So after this triggered, we can get some new functions and let's say send an email notification to a party or some members or some technicians. Now, this is the new visualization, and soon the same kind of visualization will be released together with the release management, and for the change management, we will have the same kind of workflow for them as well. Now, before I end this, I would just like to cover very, very fast to the end of my slideshow to integrations. So let me go to the end. Integrations. So we have many integrations with many other ManageEngine products, management products, and third-party vendors. Through the APIs that the system provides, we can manage and handle third-party integrations like, let's say, Jira, SCCM, and of course the native integrations that are built inside the system with, if you work with ManageEngine, we have Desktop Central for managing the desktops. We have now MDM, which we can manage the mobile devices from the same console and have various actions from inside the console to the endpoints. We can combine the AD manager for creating users, resetting passwords. We can combine OP Manager, which is a monitoring tool to get the alerts inside the system about outages in our servers, in our systems. And also we can integrate with an ManageEngine and Zoho Analytics, which is an analytics program that helps us build and make more meaningful reports for showing to our management. Let me just show you what I mean by that with a quick view before I give you the goodbye. So let me just show you about what it can do with the analytics. So we have ready-made integration with the reporting and analytics tool, which is advanced reporting. Of course, the tool has its own reports, which is around 150, 160 pre-configured reports, and also the ability to create your custom reports and query the database however you want and get your report there. But since we're talking about integrations here, this is a great achievement that we can integrate natively with analytics and get ready-made dashboards that give you a lot of detail and a lot of information about how your ITSM and how your technicians and users are responding to the work you're doing. So let's say we have here the technicians leaderboard or some other analysis about how many tickets you get and the performance, SLA performances of your groups, departments, and help representatives. And just this story, I had to say everything in a hurry. As you understand, it's a very large software. It has many options, and 40 minutes is just not simply enough to cover this. Thank you very much for your attention, and you can always drop us an email with any questions, and we will be happy to work with you and answer all your questions. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.